Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped. Something.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny. I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
How are you?
I'm not too good, really. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's just the family stuff is the pits. And
yeah.
And yes, I've been so I think it's been about a week, or just about a week.
Mm-hmm.
Since shit blew up, and
same shit you were telling me about.
Yeah. And every day I sort of try and see what's happening with me and if I can work through it. And IFS has felt like a distant dot on the horizon. Completely.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a roller coaster, and sometime during the day I usually manage to reach some level of equilibrium, I guess is the best I could say. But then in the morning I wake up and it's all there. There's the lump in the stomach and the whole bizzo. So I've been trying to think about trying to work out how I might use this time on this call, and it just never goes anywhere. I think I figure something out about, maybe I could do this or maybe I could do that, and then it doesn't work anymore. It just doesn't. Yeah. So I really have no idea what I want to do today.
Okay. Sounds frustrating.
Yeah. Well, it's frustrating, and it's I don't even know what it is.
Okay.
Maybe if we do our little minute of time.
Yeah. Would you like
and then I can
more than a
tell you
minute?
what's going on.
How many minutes would you like?
Let's start with a minute and
Okay.
see where I am after that. Yeah,
Sounds good.
it would be good. Yeah, thank you.
That was a minute.
Wow,
It's a fast one, wasn't it?
that went quick.
I mean, I think it's a minute. I'm using a little shortcut on my watch, so I never know if it's off by some seconds. Would you like another maybe minute?
No, I think that's... I mean,
Okay.
I could go on taking minutes forever, but...
Well, feel free to sprinkle them in throughout the conversation anywhere you like.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's helpful to both of us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I often wonder what's going on with your parts while all this stuff is going on at my end.
Well, I'm happy to share that with you. And yeah, I can, really, I should be sharing that more than I do. Yeah. When I have parts come up, I should acknowledge them internally, and often I should be acknowledging them externally, and I don't.
Yeah.
So.
I would find that amazing. That would be amazing. Yeah.
Okay. You want to hear some that are up for me right now?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Well, you've probably heard me complain about my back pain before.
Yes.
Or mention it. And it's always sort of there. It's, there's good days and not good days, but it's always sort of there.
Yeah.
So today's
that's a part. That's a part for you? No.
There are parts around it. I mean,
right.
the part that causes the pain shows up on an X-ray, but there are lots of emotions around it, and I've been really glad in the past maybe month or more that I think I found probably the best fix for it ever, and it's been maybe better than ever. And then today and the past day or two, it was kind of bad. So I have parts that are like, oh, it's not permanently fixed. And so there's the kind of current low level pain. And then there's all that just kind of frustration and really even some shame around like, what's wrong with me that I haven't got this fixed?
Right.
Or even what's wrong with me that I'm bitching about this thing if it's so minor.
Right.
So they're both there. Yeah.
That doesn't sound minor to me.
Yeah. Let's see. What else is up for me? I don't know. I'm really happy to talk with you. So
cool.
Excited parts?
Yeah. Well, don't get too excited. I think it might be a flop today.
Oh, yeah.
So just in terms of your back, if you need to do something for that while we're in the middle of this, I'm really happy for you to let me know about that. If there's something that
well,
I don't know.
I shouldn't keep this from you, but I did a lot of work on my chair last night, and I have I have revamped the seat pan, the lumbar support, the headrest. But the best part was, I told you I'm in this kind of fancy rocking chair. I don't know what they're called, but they have like multiple parts where the feet stay still, but the chair rocks somehow. A little.
Okay.
You'd know it if you saw it. But I was taking it apart and reassembling it last night, and I managed to put the legs on backwards. And And then I sat in it and I was like, oh, this is better. I fixed it up, and I leaned back and it just went straight back onto the floor when I leaned back, which
No.
is not supposed to be able to do.
No.
And I thought
Oh dear.
Genie
Did
will
that
like this
hurt
story.
when that happened?
It hurt a little bit. I got a little shoulder
Oh, goodness,
sprainage going
James.
on, but nothing too bad.
Have you ever tried just standing?
Yeah,
Like
I
getting a
have.
standing desk? Yeah.
Yeah, I have a standing desk.
Oh, okay.
And I do have on my list of things to do to invest in a decent microphone headset so that maybe I can walk around during calls, but I wouldn't be able to take notes as
Yeah.
well. So
Yeah.
maybe. I've walked during a couple of calls.
Yeah. It's an ongoing problem, isn't it?
Yeah. But overall, these are problems that I'm really happy to have, of like how to have these conversations, how to be even more comfortable when I'm having my favorite conversations of the day.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I just know that if you need to just say, stop for a minute, I'm totally
Great. Okay, good. So
cool with
we
that.
both have that
Yeah.
that right to call a minute
Yes.
or more.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's do that.
So, how about
I think
yourself?
you should. I think you should keep a record of all your cheer journeys, and then write a novel based on cheers.
Yeah, I could start a blog.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I know I'd have one reader.
No, I think you might be surprised.
Okay.
I think you might be surprised because it's
What
not
parts?
really about the cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Just
What parts are alive in you? Who would you like to speak for today?
So I'm trying really hard not to think about what I thought about last night, that I might talk to you, and just try
Okay.
to do what's right now.
Mm-hmm. And that's okay.
Yeah. So it's a bit hard to. I think the biggest word I've got is that, or the biggest message I've got is that it's all in shutdown. It's all just shut down. Everything
Mm-hmm.
shut down.
Yeah.
All the dials are turned down. All the lights are turned off.
Yeah. I wonder if that's a part that we've met before that talked about how good it is at. It might have been the one that said making you go to sleep after certain events. And it was able to just kind of turn it all down.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And I do know a little bit about what's hanging out in the dark there.
Mm-hmm. And some of that is stuff that you think you might not want to get into today.
I have no idea. Maybe, okay. Yeah. I think I'd like to say what's hanging out in the dark, and then talk about what to do about, what then, what now, what next.
Mm-hmm.
But so there's I don't know if it's one part saying a whole lot of different things, or whether it's a whole lot of different parts.
Are these the parts that you're saying are hanging out in the back?
Yeah.
Okay.
That I don't want to turn the light on and shine the light on at the moment, but I know they're there.
Okay.
And they all have a theme.
Mm-hmm.
They all have a theme, which is that I'm a shit and a terrible person. That's basically the theme.
Yeah. So does that, when you tell me that, does that feel like you're already shining the light on them?
No, not really.
Okay.
That's more like something I thought about last night. It's kind of like a memory that I thought, maybe I'll say this to James.
Okay. And just so I'm clear, it's kind of that shutdown part that is mostly not wanting to shine a light on those others?
Yeah, although, yeah.
Okay.
Not wanting is not quite the right word. It simply is not possible, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And there's another bit of a theme too, and I think I'm going back to what I was thinking about last night for this as well. So I'm not sure how present it is right now, but a whole theme about IFS doesn't work, and it's not available to me, and even if it was, I couldn't do it. And
okay.
And now it's gone dark again. Very, very dark.
Yeah. How would you feel about us getting to know the shutdown part?
Okay, we can. I don't feel very hopeful.
Okay, well, I have another offer for you.
Mm-hmm.
Last time we spoke, or no, sometime between last time we spoke and now, we talked about the possibility of doing direct access and how I can speak to parts, especially when you're feeling like there's not much Genie self available.
Yeah.
So I'd be happy to talk to this part if that works for you and the part, or we can do both of us, or however.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me have a little feel around in the dark.
Yeah.
I'm not getting a strong kind of, let's do that message, but I'm also not getting a, no way.
Okay.
I'm getting a kind of, I'm getting a kind of, hasn't he heard? I just told him it's pointless. But whatever. You know, that sort of.
Yeah. And that's actually what I'm most curious about. So if that part is right, that it's pointless, then, I think that would be good for us to know. And if it's not right, then that would also be good to know. So I'm just curious about its feelings around the pointlessness.
Yeah. It doesn't really understand why that needs explaining, but if you want to give it a go.
I'm very curious. We don't have to follow my curiosity. If you have your own questions you'd like to ask, or if you'd like to go to a different part.
No, I have no, I think talking directly to it is fine. It's just saying to me that,
that is pointless.
It's not sure. Yeah. But it doesn't mind talking.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you. So this is the part that shuts things down, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want that part to know that, again, it's welcome here. I'm curious about it. And that I am assuming that it has good intentions. And those are some of the things that I'm curious about.
I just have a job to do. It's not about intentions. It's just there's a job to be done, and I do it.
Mm-hmm. How do you like your job?
Well, it doesn't really matter. It just needs to be done, so it gets done. I do it.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that it needs to be done or not. Just wondering what it's like for you.
Well,
to be the one that does that.
Well, it's it's the same job. It's not like it's particularly challenging. It's just do the same thing that I've always done.
Can you
It's
tell me
just
about?
shut it all down.
Yeah, can you tell me? Because it's interesting you say that it's simple or easy. I forgot how you described it, but to me that sounds so powerful to be able to have that control over other parts in the system.
Yep, that's what I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't give me big thrills to have that power, but that's what the job requires. So
Right.
that's what I do.
Mm-hmm. And you come up and do that in response to when the other parts are getting too rowdy, when things are feeling too chaotic in the system. Is that right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's just everything has to stop for a while. It just has to stop because otherwise everything would explode into a million pieces. You know, like a big bang.
Yeah. And have you seen that happen in the past?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah, seen some explosiveness.
I've seen disintegration, the disintegration of that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I believe you. Sounds important.
Well, yeah. Well, oh, God. See, I'm losing the point of this conversation. What is the point of this conversation?
My only point was to get to know you. Because you're powerful, because you're up right now. So we don't have to be talking. But I'm just curious about how you do what you do and why. And
Well, it's pretty easy.
mm-hmm.
You just go bam and it's done. It's not like it's not like it's terribly complex. You just turn the lights off, shut it down.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been doing it? Doing this job?
Long time. Can't remember really. It's too long ago to remember.
Mm-hmm.
It does. I mean, you know, like, what does it matter how long I've been doing it? It just needs to be done. That's all.
I understand that. And I do have my reasons for asking that question about how long.
Okay.
One is just to understand you better and just to empathize and understand really what the degree of your effort is about. But the other is because sometimes we get some secrets out of the answer to that.
Well, I shut down secrets. I don't tell them.
Fair enough. I'm okay with that. And by secrets, I just meant trailheads. I just meant to learn more about who you're protecting, and that's, you don't have to tell me that. It's fine.
Well, I'm protecting Genie, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's about.
That's what parts are about.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Well, I don't know about any of those other ones, but that's my job.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
The other ones just cause fucking problems.
Right. Right.
I mean, I get that shutting everything down I get that can cause some problems too, but at least it's,
yeah, at least it's not disintegrating, exploding.
Yeah,
I get it. The alternative would be worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying I don't cause problems, but that's the job. That's how it works.
Yeah, you're like a stopgap. You're like, unplug the machine, right? It's going haywire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Does
this one's been a long one. This one.
Sorry, what was that?
This one has been a long one. This one.
What's been a long one?
This shutdown.
Oh, is that because things were particularly chaotic?
Yeah, they were pretty bad. Yeah, they were pretty bad.
So, if you'd like to tell me how that was for you, I'm curious. It's up to you.
For
if you'd
me,
like to share.
the shutdown part.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't mean anything to me.
Okay.
I'm just here to shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
That's my job, is to notice when everybody else is causing chaos, and I don't even have to know why. I mean, that's nothing to do with me.
Fair enough. Yeah. Do you feel ever appreciated by Genie?
A little bit, occasionally.
Yeah.
Sometimes she appreciates how efficient I am, that I can do this in a blink of an eye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think she and I have talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, I got a question.
Yeah.
When you think about her, how old do you think that she is? What comes to your mind first when you think about her age?
I don't know exact age. Somewhere in her teens, probably.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. I remember in my last conversation with her, that we met a teenage part that other protectors were up around, and we learned some things about just how I keep using the word chaotic. I don't know if that's the right word. That some of those teenage years were.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in talking about that.
Fair enough. So, is there anything that you'd rather be doing with your energy if you didn't have to do the shutting down or didn't have to do it as much as you do?
It's kind of a hypothetical.
Definitely. It's hypothetical.
Well, I don't really. Hypothetical is not my.
I get it. Okay.
thing.
Yeah. You know what I really appreciate is your directness and honesty in this conversation with me. I really like the way that you don't beat around the bush with your answers.
I have to make decisions, and you can't.
Yeah. Right.
You can't fucking beat around the bush.
Right. It totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I admire that.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess the hypothetical, yeah, we can skip that. I think, the ideal is that somehow Genie could help keep those parts from getting to that point, and then maybe you wouldn't have to work as hard as you do. But that wouldn't be, that would be something that she could work out with those other parts. So hypothetical.
What do you mean?
Not...
What do you mean? I don't understand what you mean.
So you do the shutting down when the parts are kind of feeling like they're exploding and taking over, and it all feels like too much.
Well, not too much for me, but too much for her. Yeah.
Right. Too much for her. And what I'm kind of picturing is a world in which she's actually able to communicate with them, and they're not quite so explosive because she's just more present for them, or however that might work. And then the whole thing, it might just not happen as much, that they're feeling like they're taking over or exploding, and then you might not have to do the shutting down as much.
Well, I'm sure you believe that. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't get how.
That's fine.
I don't get how that process might happen. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
totally
that
fine.
I'm not saying you're bullshitting or anything. But,
no, and you might not even have to be involved in that process. So I'm kind of just talking here. I'm not asking anything of you. I'm just letting you know why I got into the hypotheticals.
Yeah, well, like I said, I kind of don't do hypotheticals.
Yeah, fair enough.
All I know, like I don't have to know very much, and I don't have to do very much.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I just have to know it when I see it, which is keeping all those parts from yelling and screaming and
yeah.
And I just have to shut it down. That's it.
Yeah. And would you be interested in if she were able to limit that some, or to kind of help you out with that? If she were able to go to those parts and keep that from happening as much?
Well, I mean, I suppose, yeah, maybe. Yeah. I'm not sure that interested is the word. It doesn't sound very interesting to me. It's not my job.
Yeah.
If she was interested in it, well, she can go play games like that.
Cheers.
If she wants to. I don't care.
All right. Great.
I still have to do my job.
Yep. I think so. Cool. Thanks for humoring me, and for putting up with I know some of these questions are outside of your usual calculations, right?
Yeah.
So I appreciate
I
your time.
don't talk to many people. I'll have to say that.
Yeah, I get that.
So I'm probably not very. I probably don't do conversations very well.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my job.
Yeah. Well, I've enjoyed it. So it was
Okay.
nice. It was nice getting to meet you, and you're
Okay.
welcome here. You're welcome here. If you do ever have a request, or if you see, like, sometimes you might have a vantage point that you're able to see something that the rest of us aren't seeing. So if that ever does come up, like, you have a suggestion or anything like that.
Yeah, I've got. I don't know about a vantage point, but I've got a wide view. Like I can take it all in at once.
Yeah. I have a question. It goes back to a conversation that I had with Genie a long time ago, months ago, I think. And she was talking about how some parts, like some things can be really small and kind of trigger this avalanche feeling.
Yeah.
And others, because I had said something like, oh, all these things accumulate and then it gets to a big point and then it's an avalanche. And she was saying, no, sometimes it's not about accumulation. Sometimes it can just be something really small. I'm wondering if that's part of your wide view, is like you're able to see the little small thing that's way over there.
Yeah. Totally.
That's cool.
Totally.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds like it could be really, I mean, we know that that's really valuable, but I think maybe I'm just again imagining, like, yeah, if you were able to communicate that with her and she could help, I don't know, respond to those small things or any things just because of the view you have.
At the moment, when they, like, sometimes the things don't even have to touch her. Yeah. Just them passing by causes a little breeze. And the little breeze is enough to set her off, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
So I can't remember what question you asked me, but like, it's, yeah, you got to keep an eye out for. I have to keep an eye out for all of those things, coming in. And
I appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, it needs to be done.
Yeah, I believe you. Do you have any requests of me or questions of me? Is there anything I can do for you?
Sorry, that's a bit of a weird question. I don't. I mean, not the question isn't weird. I don't. Processing it is a bit of a weird feeling.
Yeah, well, if you'd like help with that, let me know. Also, Jeannie and I talked about having a minute. We can sprinkle in minutes of just quiet if we want. So if you want to just think about it for a moment, you're welcome to.
Yeah. Yeah. To ask me that question again. What was the question?
Okay. Do you have any questions of me? Do you have any requests of me?
All right.
And is there anything I can do for you?
Yeah, I will have to think about that. I mean, the only thing that I can think of, and I don't even, I mean, how would it even work? It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't work. But I do this job, so, and I do it all. So I have to be watching everything all at the same time. And the only thing I can think of, and I have no idea how it would even work because it makes no sense to me, is that there would be somebody else watching as well.
Yeah. Someone else with a wide view.
Yeah, so maybe
someone else who really understands
it up a little bit. Yeah.
Who really understands the repercussions and the
well, and know what to look for.
Right.
You know, like it's not it's not like, you know, you suddenly look up and there's some, you know, giant hulking dude marching into the place. That's not what it's about.
Right. Understands the triggers.
It's the little stuff, man. I mean, it is the big stuff as well, obviously, but, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't even know how that would work. How would...
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not certain that... I don't know. You know? I don't think that, like, parts are bad and self is good and parts need to stop what they're doing. Like, if you're really well tuned to what you're doing, I think that's great. I think that's great.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd like to look for ways in which someone could help you or that you could help someone and make that easier.
I mean, the only thing that would actually help would be if Genie stopped being, you know, so sensitive to those little things. If she could toughen up a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That felt a bit mean to say that. I felt a bit mean saying that.
I appreciate that. That's all right. You're welcome to just talk how you want and be how you are.
Yeah, well, it would help if she would just toughen up a bit. And there wouldn't be so many things to...
So there's little things out in the world, and then parts of her are, as you're saying, kind of overreact and aren't tough enough. And then that's, yeah. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, the overreacting thing is a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
There's a hair
hair trigger reaction.
Hair trigger thing. Yes.
All right. Well, I think that is the type of thing that she could work on and help make your life a little easier.
Okay. I'm a bit panicked about that.
Panicked? Do you want to tell me why?
I mean, I want her... It would be good if she could do that, but then I wouldn't have to do it. And that's my job. And all of a sudden I wouldn't have to do it.
And how would that feel to you if you didn't have to do it?
I think that's where the panic's coming from.
Yeah. Your panic is welcome. I mean, I know it's probably unpleasant, but I just want to know that... I want you to know that those parts of you are welcome here with me.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's a bit more complicated than I thought it was.
Sounds it.
There's lots of I thought it was just a straight line thing, you know. Like A happens and so B is the response. You go from A to B. But I sort of think that maybe I haven't seen all the. And it's a bit more complex than that somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is normal. It's normal for parts to see what they see, and like we've discovered, you have this specialized job.
Yeah.
So.
And it's not like things have changed enough that I can stop doing it.
Right. Yeah, and I wasn't suggesting that like you stop, and I wasn't suggesting that.
No.
This is all hypothetical. Just what it might take, what it might look like for her to be able to.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's about. I think it's about understanding that it's not as straightforward as I thought. I mean, it is straightforward. It's straightforward about what has to happen. Clearly, that's A happens, so B has to respond. But around that or behind that, or there's a whole lot of complexity that I wasn't really aware of.
Mm-hmm. Can you just catch me up on what A is and what B is? Like, are you B or are you?
A is when something happens, the chaos starts or something triggers her, and B is when I shut it down. That's all there was.
Yes.
There was A happened and I did B.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a straight line. It was straightforward. It was clear. It was simple. There was didn't even need explaining. It just happened.
Right.
And I think that what I'm seeing is that there's a little bit more than just A and B. There's some other things happening as well. But
are they happening between A and B?
No. It's kind of like if you think of like a sort of a network, So there's A and B, and there's a line between A and B. But then out there's C, and down there's D, and over here there's F, Y, and G, and there's all links between all of them, and I didn't know any of them were there. I don't know what they are.
Links between them and A?
Between everything. Everything's linked to everything.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Okay.
It's complex, and I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
And it was all a bit invisible. All I saw was stimulus response. Boom, boom,
Yeah. And again, I hope that doesn't feel like that means you did something wrong or shame on you or anything. I mean, you have your role, and
I think it's uncovered something that I didn't realize was there.
Yeah.
I don't know what all those little points are around the place.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what they.
May I offer a hypothesis?
Yeah, sure.
They're probably parts, and good news is that you have a supreme parts detector working in there also, who in theory can go to each of them and understand that network of relationships better.
Who, me? Oh.
Well, self.
You mean? Oh, right. Yeah.
I think self is the one that can open every door, that can traverse the entire web. I'm saying in theory because I've only seen
Yeah.
what I've seen and what I've experienced in me, and
Yeah.
I still
I mean,
got my doors closed here and there too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you that they're parts. I think that is what it is, and it's another whole layer.
Yeah. So yeah, I think
I
that
mean,
would be what self does, is kind of visit each of them and really help understand that network better. If that's all it did was just just shine light on the network, and then it'd be like, oh, this is the thing that caused A, might be able to
yeah.
just see things quicker or
Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind. I would, like there's not much point in.
yeah.
There's not much point in talking to me. Like I'm really,
Yeah.
just.
Yeah.
There's nothing
No.
much to say. I'm a, like I just shut it down. That's all. But
Yeah.
these other things around the place,
Uh-huh.
I can see that. I can see talking to them
That's
might
cool.
be useful. Yeah.
No, I've loved talking with you. And there is one thing. I mean, you can go anytime you want, but when you talked about uh, if you were didn't have to do your job, that there would be some panic there. I
Yeah.
got really curious about that.
Well, it means I wouldn't have a job.
Okay. Well, I think we were talking about didn't have to work so hard.
Ah, you mean there's a bit of choice there? You mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and we can't, and I know that we can't like get rid of parts. So yeah, you don't get erased
Right.
either way.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes more sense. So what you're saying is that it's the job that stops needing to happen rather than the part not needing to happen. Is that right?
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Or yeah, the job needs to happen less, or yeah, just kind of, or
Yes. Yeah.
it's easier to deal with when it does need to happen, or there's someone on your team and someone,
Yeah.
informing you and you informing them, and just kind of, yeah, just
Yeah.
bringing more
Someone on the
light.
team would be helpful. That would be helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That feels. Because a lot of us in here are pretty black and white.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah, I know. And so
I hear that all the time. Parts saying, I'm black and white. Parts saying, this is pointless. Don't go talk to that part. It's just black and white. Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the black and white sometimes gets in the way of other possibilities, of seeing other possibilities.
For sure. Earlier I mentioned an analogy like a machine going haywire. And I was thinking like black and white would be like if it was one of those old mechanical calculators where it's like it's like really, black and white, whereas versus like a new computer or something that's like
Yeah.
yeah.
It ain't Chat GPT, that's for sure.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, I mean that's something I think something self can do.
Yeah. I think the whole thing about because my job is black and white. My job is I'm either on or I'm off.
Right.
There's
Once it gets to your door, then the decision is clear.
Yeah. And I think what I'm seeing is that maybe there's some exploring to do of the least black and white parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll talk to Genie about that.
Sorry, say again?
I'll talk to Genie about that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there's much point in talking to me.
Is there something that would make your job even easier? Like, are there parts that really like fight back with you or like shame you for doing what you do, or anybody that?
Yeah, the ones that keep on yelling all the time about what a piece of shit Genie is, the longer they go on doing that, the longer I have to keep it down. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah.
I mean, I have
You
no
gotta
idea
shut
whether
that
they're
down.
Yeah. I mean, I have no
Yeah.
idea. I don't know if they're right or wrong. They're probably right. She probably is. But the point of it
Right,
is that
yeah,
when they're yelling that at her, it's fucking,
it's terrible.
explosion material. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You
So
gotta shut
they
that
could
shit down.
yeah, if they could sort their shit out,
Yeah.
it would help a lot.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Maybe I can get to go meet them a little bit and
Yeah, I reckon.
see how we can help them chill out a little bit with the piece of shit stuff.
Yeah, I reckon. Anyway,
Yeah,
I'm probably
nice
done
meeting you.
talking.
Awesome.
Yeah, okay. Thanks.
All right. Holler if you need anything. That was a nice
Okay.
conversation. All right. I made a friend. That part's probably saying, hey, I don't make friends.
Nah.
Sorry, just kidding.
Don't get ahead of yourself, mate.
Sorry about that. All right. No. But yeah, I got to learn about a part, and I really like how that lets me see inside myself and how my own shutdown parts work. It's cool.
You got one too?
Yeah. Probably several. I assume everyone does.
All right. Okay. I don't even know who's talking anymore. I'm lost. I don't know who I am.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, shutdown parts. I mean, who would want to live with you're a piece of shit in our ears all day?
Yeah, totally.
Like that's not sustainable. That's not
I mean, what do you even do with that?
what do you do with
that's
that?
Yeah, like if that's true, then what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think the shutdown part wants to disappear back into his comfort zone.
How do you feel towards the shutdown part?
It was an interesting conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel towards him or her or it?
Still a little weary because it's still got its hand on that shutdown switch.
Oh yeah, being shut down is no fun, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of not that it's no fun. It's just I don't even know what it is. Because it's probably better than other things. But anyway,
right.
I'm really confused as to who's talking right now.
So, if it's probably better than other things, would that indicate that you're appreciative of it? And could you just show it that? Just show it that, even though it's done talking and wants to go back.
Yeah.
Just send it some of that appreciation.
Yeah. I get it. I get that it's Hobson's choice, and it makes the best choice it can.
Yeah.
And I probably do think that it is the better choice. I mean, it's not perfect.
Right.
And
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it makes those piece of shit parts chill out or quiets them.
Yeah.
You think about all the other things that one could do in response to that, that would be so much more destructive. Those other firefighters that we have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's the least destructive of two destructive choices is kind of how it feels.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess, yeah. And the reality is that I have known that for a long time, that it's, the better of two evils. Yeah. I probably just haven't I've sort of kept that knowledge to myself instead of saying, letting the shutdown part know that I know that.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's a good one.
Yeah, I do feel I feel slightly more, I feel slightly more connected to it.
Mm-hmm.
What? No, not connected. That's not quite right. I have a sense of it as something more substantial and sort of and real. I mean, I always knew it was there. I knew what it did because I felt the effects of it, but I never really saw it as itself before. I just saw what it did.
Nice. So
yeah,
we've been talking for about an hour, maybe a little longer. I'm happy to go wherever you'd like to go next. I did talk to Shutdown Part about those piece of shit parts, or the ones saying that. So
I think
do whatever feels right for you.
Yeah. It feels good what's happened. It feels new. And it feels like there might be some opportunities there. So, I mean, I'm happy with that. In terms of and leaving it at that, in terms of the part that tells me I'm a shit, I have a few, there's a bundle of things happening.
And I don't know if going there.
Partly concerns about going there. It's not so much concerns, it's more fear. There's a kind of a thing that says we have to go there. Like the shutdown part was really clear that that's what would help, So I think, but there's fear about going there. And and what I don't know is whether that fear is telling me we can stop this now, or whether, and I'm just putting it off.
Would you like to sprinkle in one of those minutes right now and just feel into that? And
Yeah,
just...
yeah, that would be good.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like I've kind of arrived at something. So the part that tells me that I'm a piece of shit, is really important. It's and the shutdown part has said that it's important, and it feels important to me as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I need to go there. And I think that I should not do it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it probably shouldn't be now either.
Okay.
And the thing I don't know is how to hold all of that until I can go there. And whether that even makes sense.
I think it makes sense. What do I do till then? And
yeah.
Well, how long has this part been doing that, telling you you're a piece of shit?
Most of my adult life.
Mm-hmm. So
it ain't going anywhere.
yeah, I mean, what is there to hold? Like it's.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that that it would be better to do everything sooner than later, right? But
yeah, I mean, in the meantime, it's just going to go on doing that, telling me I'm a piece of shit. And it's got a right to do that because it's kind of true.
Oh, sounds like it's here now.
Pretty much.
I'm happy to talk with it. It's your call.
Well, I mean, there's a whole, there's a whole story about, well, not just one, there's dozens of stories about all the shit all the shitty behaviour that's.
Mm-hmm. That gives this part reason to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't even know who's talking now either, James. Sorry, I'm lost. But I think this is the shit. That telling Genie she's a shit is talking and saying, I'm not interested in going into all of that.
Okay.
I know it's there. I've seen it all.
We could talk without going into it, if you'd prefer.
And once again, it doesn't know what it would talk about then. I mean, it's just.
I can tell you what I would like.
Okay.
Would be just to get to know it.
That line again.
I know. There's a lot of power in that.
There's nothing much to know. What you need to know is that she's behaved like a shit many times in her life. And I tell her that. And that's it. Like, what else is there to know?
All right. Yeah. I believe you. I believe that you've seen shitty behavior, right?
Yeah.
Stuff that you think is just too shitty.
Worse than shitty,
Worse than
actually.
shitty. Yeah, you're being polite by saying it's shitty, right?
Yeah.
And you show up to tell her that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it feels black and white to you.
Doesn't feel, it is.
Okay. Maybe it is.
I mean, either you're shitty or you're not. I mean, she had choices and she chose shit.
Yeah.
And she made those choices for shitty reasons. I mean, the shit is layers deep.
Right. I get it. Yeah. She chose the shitty things and it was because of shitty reasons, and
Exactly.
she was even there in the first place for a shitty reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
There were
Layers.
choices and shitty choices.
Yeah. Layers.
And that's what happened this last week as well.
Yeah. Quick question for you.
Yeah.
How old do you think she is?
She's all the ages.
Yeah.
She's not a kid. She didn't make shitty choices when she was a kid, as far as I know. Because she didn't have the ability to do shit, like she wasn't in charge of things when she's a kid.
Okay. So
But
in order to make a shitty choice, someone has to be in charge of things.
Yeah, well, when you're an adult, you're in charge of your life. Or when So when you're a kid, you're not in charge of your life. So it's not your responsibility. Well, not entirely.
Yeah,
but as an adult,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So I forget the question you asked me, but she's been doing this on and off.
Yep.
Her whole adult life.
And what are you afraid would happen if you didn't tell her that she's a shit?
If I didn't tell her that.
Yeah.
She would make those choices without any compunction. There would be no, I'm her conscience. I tell her she's a shit so that she feels bad about what she's done. If I didn't tell her that, then she'd just do it without.
Yeah. So that really gets her attention more than other ways of doing it or other messages.
Sorry, I don't understand what you just said.
I was asking if saying that she's shit is like a really strong way to get her attention about the things that she's doing.
Yeah.
So that she gets it into her conscience, as you say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
And if I let her know that she she at least can feel a bit bad about it.
Right. So she still does the shitty things, but
at
least she feels bad about it.
Yeah, at least she feels bad about it.
Yeah. Why is that important?
Because it shows that she has some kind of idea about decency and and about how things affect other people, and and you know, she had at least it makes her aware that
her effect on people.
Yeah.
Which is extremely important.
Yeah.
I get it.
I mean, it doesn't change anything. She's still done it, but at least she can feel bad about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And hey, maybe it does change. Maybe she does a little bit less of those things. I don't know. I could see how that could, in theory, work.
Well, she doesn't. She does less of them, but not through choice. She does less of them just by taking herself out of the game. You know, if she's not. Well, if she's not, you can't hurt other people if you're not in contact with them.
Oh yeah, I wonder if that's some of what the shutdown part does.
Partly, but the shutdown part is sort of.
I mean, that's what the shutdown part said. It said you come up, you tell her she's shit, it gets overwhelmed, or it says, hey, that's too much, it shuts things down, and now you've kind of got what you want, which is to remove her from the situation with others so that she's not hurting them.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe there's a lot else going on, but I think that part makes sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't sort of thought about it like that before, but shutting it down means that she stops shitting on other people.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's really valuable. Like, I just want to acknowledge that, like, our relationships are really valuable and how we show up in them is really valuable. So it's nice that we have parts that care about that.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot of things that she's blown.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of relationships that she takes good, you know, that she's okay with, but mostly it's just a fucking mare's nest, you know.
Yeah, that's got to be hard.
Well, it's hard if you're in it. It's much easier if you just.
Yeah, but I'm guessing that's kind of, again, like, that's a way in which you're protecting her, is that feeling of not being able to make certain relationships work is so painful that need another
step away.
A way to step away. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want me to know about your role?
I can't think of anything. That doesn't mean there isn't anything, but I can't think of it.
Yeah. If there was a way to get her to take that into her conscience, that importance of being a certain way or not being a certain way around people or whatever else you're kind of concerned about, if there was a way to do that without telling her she's shit, triggering the shutdown mechanism, would you be interested in that?
I think if that happened, then sorry, could you say that again?
Okay. If there was a way, you talked about putting this thing in her conscience so that she was more aware of her effect on people and relationships and stuff. And my question for you, do you want to say something?
The purpose of doing that is just to make you feel bad.
Right. And the purpose of making her feel bad is
that she withdraws.
Right.
Because in order to stop feeling bad about what she did, she would have to put herself in positions where she disappeared. She just got rolled over, steamrolled over.
That would suck.
Yep. It does suck. You've
seen that happen. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she doesn't withdraw. She gets rolled over.
Yeah.
If you don't tell her she's shit, then she doesn't withdraw.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she is a shit. I mean, the choice seems to come down to be a shit or get rolled over. That seems to be the choice, black and white.
Yep. Yeah. So once again, you're a part that's taking choosing the better option, helping her choose the better option.
Well, the better of two bad options.
Right. The better of two bad options. That's a better way to put it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because getting rolled over is you stop existing then. At least if you're feeling bad, you exist.
Yeah.
But getting rolled over and just getting being a doormat.
You're protecting her from being a doormat and not existing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So if there was a way to do that, if there was a way to get her to withdraw or to not do whatever thing is shitty without telling her she's shit, would you be interested in that?
Well, I think it's without telling her that she has to be a doormat. I think that's the thing.
The part that tells her to be a doormat is the one that you wish would stop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If
that one would chill out, then you wouldn't have to do.
Yes.
You got it. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe we could work with that part.
The part that is saying if you stop telling her she's a shit, then I'm telling her that the only other choice is to be a doormat.
Be a doormat. Yeah. So that's another part that maybe we could work with. But my question to you is just about your own role, because you're telling her she's a shit, that gets her to withdraw, and I'm just wondering if you would be interested if we could find another way so that you wouldn't have to tell her she's a shit as loudly, as often, maybe at all.
Well, I mean, honestly, didn't mean she was a doormat, because that's worse.
Right, of course. Yeah, I don't want her to be a doormat. Yeah. So that we would be. I'm with you.
Yeah, it's two sides of the same coin, sort of thing. Like they go together. Like getting rid of one gets rid of the other. Well, not getting rid, but they
relaxes. Get them to relax a little.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if we were to work with the part that's encouraging her to be a doormat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see that they're a tag team. Are you still there? Well, Zoom has decided that we've talked enough, I guess.
No, I think I tapped the screen by mistake. Sorry.
Welcome back.
Sorry, I tapped the screen by mistake.
You see that they rolled over and the one telling you you're a shit are a tag team?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel towards them being in that state and that dynamic? It sounds like they're kind of stuck. How do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it's not going anywhere, is it? It's one shitty thing or another shitty thing.
Yeah. How do you feel towards them being stuck like that?
Oh. it's probably not very. Must be a bit of a pain in the ass, actually.
Yeah. Will you just let them know that you see that? Just let them know that you see how much of a pain in the ass that is to be stuck.
It's not. There's no ability for creativeness in there, is there? When it's
No,
one or the other.
not in their worlds. No.
No chance of being creative whatsoever.
Yeah. Will you just let them know that you see that? And how difficult that must be.
It's what they're used to.
I'm sure, yeah.
They can't.
And you see that you have these parts that are used to this role of shit versus shit.
Yeah. It's a habit. They're in a habit with each other, and
for a long time.
For a long, long time, they can't operate on their own. You know.
Yeah.
They're sort of.
I think they probably feel like they're on their own. In that what you said earlier about there not being any creativity in there, like they have that kind of.
Well, they're on their own in their job, but they never are on their own. You know, it's one or the other, one or the other one. You know,
right,
like it's
right. Yeah, but they're that kind of one-dimensional.
Yeah,
there's two of them, but they're. Yeah.
They're on either side of the same thing, and either one's showing or the other's showing, but neither of them can get away from the other, sort of thing.
Can you just let them know that you see that about them?
Yeah.
Will you invite them to notice you?
Yeah.
Yeah, just ask them to check you out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're sort of mirror images of each other.
Mm-hmm. And let them know that you can bring some creativity to that problem.
Yeah.
And that they don't have to keep doing that forever.
Yeah, they quite like that.
That's nice.
Although there's this huge nervous part just arrived.
Okay.
Like really, really nervous. Really anxious about that.
Okay. Well, we don't have to go further with all of that right now. But I think having seen them and having them seen you is a pretty big deal and is an essential step.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Why is it scary? It's so fucking scary.
Should we hear from that part that says it's scary? It's welcome. It's okay to feel scared. It's okay for it to be here. And Genie, you can let it know that you see how scared it is.
Yeah. It's terrifying.
Yeah. And we want to help out with that. We want to go at a pace and in a way that's not so terrifying. in a way that works for you. Does the scared part see you there?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. Just let it know we never have to go anywhere that doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's okay to be scared.
Okay.
This is a lot of new stuff. It's new in the way we're working with these parts, but they've been there forever.
Yeah.
So it does, like, it can feel really like you're up against this thing that, you know, you haven't known how to deal with for so long, and that can be really scary.
I think we might have to stop it at that.
Okay. Well, I would like to send hugs to you and scared parts and everyone else who will accept them. I really appreciate all of these parts' time and willingness to talk with me.
I think the shutdown part's arrived again.
All right, shutdown part. Thank you.
He's shutting everything down again.
Okay. I appreciate you, shutdown part. I appreciate all these parts. I'm looking forward to getting to know them all more in the future. And I think that they all have a good intention, including the scared one.
You know what's funny about the shutdown part? That this part right here now pops up straight away, and I can be perky and cheerful and...
The shutdown part is really, really skilled.
Yeah. So I'm fine.
Got some surgical precision to who it shuts down, how it shuts down. It doesn't just knock you out.
No. The perky one is here and is
beautiful.
Absolutely fine.
Hello, perky one.
Hello. It's kind of, it sometimes makes me think I'm kind of, insane, but
sure,
probably got something drastically wrong with me, but at least it's perky. So,
a lot of people just think they're insane because this is so normal to have this. Now I'm scared. Now I'm shut down. Now I'm laughing, and and our environments tell us that that's crazy too. Like, we get weird looks from people because weren't you just crying? Now you're laughing. What's wrong with you? Right? Like, we hear these messages.
Totally. It's insane.
Yeah. And then we're like, well, okay, I must be insane, but it's just parts. It's just parts. It's been parts all along.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all welcome.
It's all So so I think we might leave it there. I think.
Okay.
Oh God.
Thank you again.
Are you doing okay? Are you all right?
I'm wonderful. This is a highlight of my day. I really enjoy these conversations, and
how's your back?
I enjoy them on so many levels. I haven't even thought about my back since we first started talking. It feels fine.
Right.
And I don't know what might explain that, but I feel better than I felt all day. And I don't. Okay. And I hope you're not hearing that like it's just from some outside clinical. This is fun.
Yeah.
What's that?
Not placating me. Not.
Yeah. Or that what I was saying was like, oh, I'm studying this strange creature. Like, it doesn't feel like that. It's like I genuinely enjoy meeting parts, and I genuinely learn about myself and my own parts in this way too. So, I do not feel like it's pointless. It really never
Yeah.
feels pointless to me. And I just want to
Okay.
thank you for your time and all of these parts doing what they do.
Okay, good. Well, I'm
Okay.
sure it's past your tea time as well. So
Just
thank
about.
you. And
Thank
I see
you.
that there
Thank you
has
all.
come something cool about booking another time. So I'll go on and do that. James, thank you so much for hanging
Thank
in
you
there
so
with me.
much.
Because
My
it's
pleasure.
just...
All right.
Oh,
Have a good
God.
rest of your day.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
same to you.
Bye now.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows? That might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. And they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.